Scully, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be taking a left up here. There's an intersection up here. You're going to want to... Scully, you're going to want to... You just ran a stop sign back there, Scully.
Shut up, Mulder.
Sure, fine, whatever.
Welcome to Most Unwanted, an X-Files podcast. I'm Chex, joined as ever by Luke. Luke, how's your week been, mate? How's things?
It's been sensual, actually.
Sensual?
Sensual, yeah.
Do I want to know?
Well, I mean, it's just a sensual week. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do not know what you mean. Well, sensual? Who describes a week as sensual?
Well, it would be with the episode that we're recording today.
Oh... Because this is episode 69 of the podcast.
It is episode 69.
Yeah.
And every time we say 69, I'm going to put a sound effect for the word 69.
What sound effect are you going to use?
Nothing crude. Before you...
Bung!
It could be that. It could be anything in between.
Is it going to be different sound effects? Or just
no, it's going to be I ain't got that much time on my hands. But in reality, my week has been very vanilla. I don't even know what I've done this week, actually. It's one of those where, it's just flown by. To be honest, I've just watched X-Files.
Nice.
I've been doing my job. That's what I've been doing.
That's good, and that's what we like to hear. Because it's very important that we watch X-Files in order to make this podcast. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. We need to drag this out because I'm going to put it right on Front Street. This is probably the worst episode of X-Files I've watched.
Oh, wow.
For me.
For you.
Personally. I'm not judging anyone for liking it. I'm sure there's people out there that like it. I watched this episode and I literally out loud said, what am I watching? Mm-hmm. What is this? Mm. But we'll get into that. Yeah. So let's just make this segment count.
Well, we're already 2 minutes in and I've ran out of things to say, so how about you? You got
King of content. Well, let's have a look. Let's think about what I've done. I went to the bingo.
Hear that sound, guys? It's us hitting the bedrock of content. We've run dry.
Hey, I won Full House.
Oh yeah, you did say
for the first time ever. I won big at the bingo. Oh, wow. I won £75.
How old are we again?
I am. I always forget my age.
Yes,
I'm 27.
Yeah,
are you 20?
28.
You're 20.
Yeah. No, I'm
you're 27.
28 this year. You're
forget. 28.
Yeah.
Aren't you 28 next month?
I am. Yeah.
Let me guess. October 20th.
No.
19th.
No, 20th is in cash.
Okay, no. This is gold content, Luke. 19th.
No.
18th.
No.
17th.
Higher.
21st.
No.
22nd.
Keep jumping, bitch.
26th.
Higher.
28th.
Higher.
29th.
There we go. Our intros have really dropped in quality.
Downward spiral.
We need to start writing down exactly what we've done. We to be fair, we used to do this. We used to plan our intros a bit more.
Yeah, but that was boring, wasn't it?
And then we wing it and we'd be rambling for 3 minutes.
Hey, that was gold. I really enjoyed that. I'm sure our listeners are going to enjoy it. They'll probably be playing along.
Yeah. I've got a lot of editing potential in here. I've already got the 69 sound effect.
The ding ding ding.
The ding. Yeah. I'm sure that's a Brian Fallon album, actually, the 69 sound. I've got now Play Cards Right with Luke's birthday.
Yeah.
Man, this is going to be a fun
intro. Is Play Your Cards Right a worldwide thing?
Yeah, they've got it in America.
Perfect, yeah.
It's not Brucey, obviously.
So, tell you what, let's add some content. We'll just put a whole episode intro. It was smack bang in the middle of our intro.
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about TV. Have you been watching anything recently?
I have. Yes, I actually have been watching something new. Have you ever heard of the BBC 3 comedy Fleabag? It's actually a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, it's huge. I've been meaning to watch it for so long.
Now,
Phoebe Waller-Cates, is it?
So I went into this, and I didn't know she wrote Killing Eve, which I recently watched, which everyone told me to watch, and I wasn't that keen on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not like disputing it. I know everybody else likes it, so I know it's more me. But so I was expecting it to be another one of those. Everyone loves it. You're gonna love it, and I'm like, oh, somebody said this about Killing Eve. Am I gonna like it? It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've heard really good things.
The first series, I was sort of chuckling at stuff, and it sort of got better and better and better. I'm now 2 or 3 episodes into the second series, and it's amazing. Like, it genuinely is. The comedy's really smarty, and it's just like a mix of all comedy styles just fitted into one. It plays around with the fourth wall so much. Like, initially you think, oh, it's just her talking to the camera about stuff. But then it plays around with that like characters sort of like, what are you doing? Like, as if to sort of play. It's based off a play, and it really...
She's touring with the stage show at the moment.
I think it was originally... I think she's adapted like other stuff for the new stage show, but originally it was based off just, a play based around the first series. And when you watch it, you'll be like, I can see why this was a play.
To be honest with you, mate, I've seen it for a while, and I know I'd love it. It's right up my street, really, and it's just one of those things I've not got round to. So now that you've recommended it, I think I'm going to make an effort to sort of go in and watch it sooner rather than later, because I have been meaning to.
Also, I didn't realise, I was like, what else has she been in? Star Wars? She was. Yeah. She's the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's spoilers for Solo if you've never watched it, but I mean... Have you ever watched it?
Sorry?
You watched Solo?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I think I went to watch Solo.
No, it's just me and Tash. Unless you went as well.
I think I was there, I was just behind you.
It's very creepy.
Well, I have been watching The Spy on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about this.
With Sacha Baron Cohen. Again, really good. Really enjoyed it. It was something completely different to what you used to. I think I described this to you this way, but the best way I can describe it is a sort of Israeli noir. It was just like, in the sense of, you know how noir's got a very particular feel to it? It was a similar type of cinematography in this show, but instead of like the sort of black and white with the sort of, like the red dress and the smoke drifting up, it was all faded colours. It was like desert colours. It was, I can't describe it really, but like that's the best way to describe it.
Is it A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is an Israeli film as well. It's an Israeli vampire film.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I've not heard of it, to be honest.
And that's got... I mean, I might be getting this completely wrong geographically wise, but I'm pretty sure that's an Israeli, produced film as well, and that's got the same kind of vibe. This, noir kind of... It's black and white, so it's... and it's quite a new film, not like an old black and white film. But yeah, that's that kind of noir all around, like the... Israel.
You find that though. You find certain, especially when a country becomes successful or has like a sort of successful movie industry, that it tends to sort of direct where the rest of the movies go to. I mean, just look at spaghetti westerns for a start. You know what I mean? Like it tends to, and then I know French films towards sort of 1980s, towards the end of 1999. You had like this French extremist films, which were phenomenal. Like I went through a phase. I've got going back 10 years now. I went through a phase of just really, really loving those films. And it was just basically the idea being it was more grounded stories, but then pushed to the max where they wouldn't be afraid to show anything. They'd show the worst aspects of humanity. Really some really dark stuff as well, but really good.
Is Martyrs a part of that? Or is that just... I know they did a lot of... there was a big explosion of French horror films around that time as well.
I think that was just after, because I think that's a strange one, because that tended to be a European thing. I remember, again, that was about 5, 6, 7 years ago, where European horror films just made it huge.
The stuff like high tension and stuff like that.
I think Wreck was the start.
Yeah.
I think that was the big...
I think even before that, some of these were. I think they were produced before Wreck, but I think Wreck was part of that.
And then, part of the movement.
Yeah.
Just interesting to see how different sort of success stories end up shaping a movement.
I quite like watching stuff that's not like Hollywood.
Oh,
based.
yes,
So
so
I
do I.
sound such like a pretentious wanker.
No, I don't
but
think
you know
you
what I
do.
mean?
Because I think you can fight Hollywood. And no, I'm not sort of dismissing Hollywood because they make some incredible films, but it's very money orientated. And I'm not saying, again, films from other places, they're obviously doing it for money, they're not doing it for free. But you can find that if it's an independent studio where, and again, most places around the world, that's not Hollywood, are independent studios, tend to care about the craft more. I mean, the film that won the Best Picture last year at the Oscars, Roma.
Roma, yeah.
Oh, my God, what a film. What a film. 3 hours, and I just thought it was a masterpiece from start to finish.
I like watching it from, like I said, other cultures' films and stuff, because it's like, it's just got its own unique style. Like, one of my favourite films is Old Boy.
Yeah.
And there's no other like film that feels like that film.
No.
You might not like what it's like doing in the actual film, but it's just so, the world in it that it's presented is just so weird and strange, like, and it's just like nothing else.
And again, you can enjoy both, because I'll tell you what I watched the other day. For the first time ever, I put John Wick on.
I really want to watch John Wick.
Really good film.
Yeah.
And it's a Hollywood blockbuster shoot 'em up. Really good film. I really enjoyed it. You can enjoy both.
That's the thing, though. Every now and again, you need to watch Die Hard or something.
Yeah,
like
you
that.
do.
You know,
Of course you do. Yeah.
Because, like I said, it's all well and good saying, I watched this really, smart thriller about, I don't know, a camel or something like that.
I want to see that film.
You know what I mean? Like, you can watch this weird, like, strange film, but then you need to balance that. You do need to just watch some Hollywood. A well-made action film.
Action film, or just even if it's like a cheesy comedy, just something sort of that you can just put on a telly, not think about, just enjoy. Fun films. You need a fun film.
Well, that's the beauty these days of streaming, because, I mean, before, like, you go back 10 years or something like that, if you wanted to watch that, you'd either have to buy the DVD or rent it. Do you remember that was the thing?
Honestly.
And you had to go out on a limb, really, to sort of.
That's how we watched Lost.
Yeah.
Renting disc by disc.
God,
Madness.
Yeah. I'll never ever forgive Sky for, and apparently they do this a lot because they did it with X-Files, and we'll loop you back to X-Files because we'll get to Lost was like big on Channel 4. It was like Channel 4's big hits series that they got from America, obviously. And they showed series 1 and 2 on Channel 4, and I was like, this is perfect. Like, every weekend I can watch it. Then series 3 moved to Sky, and I didn't watch series 3 for it must be a year after it came out originally, and it completely derailed my viewing of Lost. Just because Sky bought it and we didn't have Sky at the time. Yeah, I was so gutted. I was like, honestly, I couldn't watch it anymore. But yeah, they did the same with X-Files. X-Files was on BBC. I was having a look at this recently. And then, literally, season 3 of X-Files, Sky bought the viewing rights, so it went from BBC 2 to Sky. It's like...
A lot of people were annoyed, I bet.
Yeah, I imagine so, yeah.
I bet you not many people were annoyed at missing out on this episode. Should we get on with it?
Can we go another 13 minutes on this one?
On with the show! So this week we're looking at Syzygy, which is season 3, episode 13.
Annoyingly, no one said it on this episode, so we know how to pronounce it. I'm presuming it is Syzygy.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
I'm only guessing because I assume it relates to the word synergy.
That's what it sounds like. Well, I do have a description of what it actually means, but we'll save that for our production to the end.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what it means. It defines an astronomical alignment of 3 celestial objects. So we all know that. We don't need to go over that again.
I quit.
I planned that ready for when you had that mention.
Why do you hate me so?
Because I knew as soon as I knew this word needed to be defined, I knew it'd be in your production notes, and I love to get it in your just put a little bit of grit in there. So
you've ground those gears right down.
So this originally aired on January 26th.
6th on the 1996.
Yeah, I mean there's no other extra 6. You've just said a lot of sixes. That's what you've done there. And
probably directed by Chris Carter.
Oh yes, you don't remember. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Luke has forgot to put down who it was written by and who it was directed by. So who was it written by, Luke?
Chris Carter.
And who was it directed by?
Chris Carter.
One of them was right.
Yeah, I got the feeling that you didn't direct it.
It was written by Chris Carter, directed by Rob Bowman.
Okay.
So let's get into this. We start off in committee? Committee?
Yeah, I think, I saw the sign and I didn't really...
It doesn't have two M's, so I'm guessing it's committee.
Committee, yeah.
But please feel free to let us know if we're pronouncing that
maybe
wrong.
like a comet? Maybe that's
what I've gone for, yeah. But I feel like that'd have an E on, but never mind.
Yeah, that's really on the nose, if that's right.
In Comity, New Hampshire, we see basically a eulogy.
Yeah.
A bunch of students are all there. They're very sad. And we have our good friend Ryan Reynolds. Very sad.
Yeah. Very different looking Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen Ryan Reynolds post Van Wilder. So he's always looked like a svelte, hot buff dude.
Yeah.
And then you see this guy, he's quite chunky, to be fair. He's rocking my body type. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's looking a little bit of a nerd.
He is, yeah.
But he's actually playing Jay DeBoom, or as his friends call him, Boom.
I immediately wrote down, what kind of name is Boom? And I mean, Jay DeBoom.
Shake the room.
Shake the room. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was completely... Not a good start. If the first character named is called Boom.
If you're called Jay DeBoom, people are going to call you Boom.
I mean, naturally, I understand where the nickname comes from. What kind of names is DeBoom?
Yeah, DeBoom's a weird name.
Yeah.
Sorry
to any DeBooms listening.
We've just lost 4 listeners.
Yeah, I mean, if
a whole family of DeBooms. We're not listening to this anymore.
If there are any DeBooms, please get in touch because I'm genuinely interested.
Yeah. And just tell us, what kind of name is that?
Where did it come from? That's what I'm most interested in. It just sounded like a made up. You know what I mean? Like I'm really
going way too long on this DeBoom thing.
Doubling down on my DeBoom. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like something that somebody would make up for a script.
It sounds like someone had the nickname Boom in their heads before they wrote the name.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
I mean, maybe DeBoom is a famous, like, American second name?
Could be. DeBoom sounds Dutch.
Yeah, DeBoom, yeah.
So I imagine it'd have Dutch origins if it was a real name. We'll do the research and we'll find out. Probably not.
It's unlike us to do research.
So, yeah, they're holding a eulogy for a friend that's died. He seems pretty cut up about it.
Yeah.
They basically mention that it's suspected that he died at the hands of a cult, a satanic cult. We see 2 girls who become stars of this show, in air quotes. Terry Roberts and Margie Kleingen. Kleingen?
Yeah, yeah. I think that was her name. Did you see what they were from other than this? Because the only thing that I saw that they were in was Charmed.
No, I didn't recognise them. Usually, to be fair, I don't look into their backgrounds unless I recognise them. Because there's so many characters, you'd be just there constantly looking at IMDb.
I looked because they looked familiar, but I think they're only ever in Charmed and something else, and I've never watched Charmed.
Really?
So,
they didn't get any other acting roles from this? Strange.
What are you trying to say?
You know what? I do apologise because I am being facetious. And I know there's probably going to be people out there that enjoy this episode, so I'm not shitting on it. I'm just having a laugh with it. To be honest, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a rib on the episode as a whole. It just definitely wasn't my type of thing. So if ever I'm taking the piss, I'm doing it lovingly.
You want X-Files to be better than it.
Yeah, exactly.
Presented.
Make X-Files great again.
Oh no. We've got the wrong crowd in tonight.
So, these 2 girls end up getting a ride home with Mr. Boom.
Is it Mr. DeBoom or Mr. Boom?
You make that. You figure that out yourself.
Okay.
So, and then I thought to myself, I thought I put the wrong film on. I thought I'd put Ryan Reynolds' early blue movie career on. because this was weird, this car ride.
Yeah.
Basically, the girls start talking about how they heard the cult are after blonde virgins, and they're both blonde, and they're both virgins. If only there was a young, strapping man to take their virginity away to make them safe. So Ryan Reynolds pulls over, turns off road, and then we cut to darkness.
Yeah.
And the next day, we see the police arriving, and they find Boom hanging, basically. And classic sort of horror shots, or Disney horror, if you like, where the camera pans up the rope to the top of the cliff, and the girls are up there playing He Loves Me Not, where you're picking the petals from flowers.
Yeah.
And laughing very loudly.
Yeah. Like someone might hear them.
Yeah. Weird start, wasn't it?
Weird start. I mean, I like that they just told you who the villains were straight away. There's no... Do I like that, actually? I then went to say, there's no intrigue. Actually, that's quite a good thing about most of the episodes. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we find out who the villains are straight away. So I guess we can hate them for the rest of the episode? I don't know.
It worked.
It worked, yeah.
Not for the reasons they want me to hate them, to be fair. Mulder and Scully, they end up coming down, trying to figure out what's going on. Already they're arguing over directions to the point where I actually like this. I thought, oh, this is quite funny. Like there was, oh, you need to take a left, or no, you need to take a right, which is a stop sign. No, it's a red light, etc., etc. I'm not going to go over all the different arguments they have because it's just bickering. To be fair,
I like that. Scully tells him to go a certain way. Mulder's adamant that it's not that way, but he decides to follow Scully's directions anyway. Then you see the car come straight back.
I like that. That was funny.
It's quite funny.
And then it's just that whole episode.
Yeah,
that's the only problem.
They seemed a lot like a married couple, and I liked it initially, but after a while, I just felt like a kid who had an arguing mom and dad, and I just wanted it to stop.
And you don't understand why. There's no reason. Like you're a kid in the backseat of the car, and you're like, why are they arguing?
Why are mom and dad fighting? I don't get it.
And your mom turns around and she's like, "Oh, it's fine. He's just being silly." And I'm like, "No, you're arguing." Yeah, it's a great analogy because you don't ever find out.
And that's the one thing that bugged me about this episode. Like my biggest negative on the episode is that we never find out why they're arguing. They just are.
Apart from maybe Angela.
Well, I mean,
but they're arguing before.
That's the thing. They're arguing before he meets Angela, and that makes it worse. But they're already on a negative sort of train before we even get to that. And initially there's some stuff that's said that I read into and which we'll get to later. But nothing materialised. They're just in a bad mood with one another. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, after all the bickering, they do finally get there and they meet the local detective Angela White, who becomes quite important. And the first stop, they go to Boom's funeral. Mr. Boom's. Mr. Boom, yeah. The first time I saw the detective, I thought it was Jennifer Tilly. It was like... Yeah, she just had like that sort of vibe to her, yeah. She looked like Jennifer Tilly in Liar Liar. Yeah, but Jennifer Tilly's got a very unique voice. Yes, yeah. That's what gave it away. She didn't sound like Jennifer. I really like Jennifer Tilly's voice. I like... there's someone else that's got a similar voice. She's in... a lot of Kevin Smith films. She's in Chasing Amy. Have you ever watched that? Yeah, I've watched Chasing Amy. It's a brilliant film. Yeah. I don't know who it is. You know what I'm talking about, though. Like a really breathy voice. Just unique, basically. Anyway, we'll find it. It's not a major plot point to this podcast. It wasn't Jennifer Tilly. No, I don't think it was. But yeah, it's obvious that Scully's in a bad mood at this point. Skeptical of all the cult claims, the satanic cult. Mulder keeps undermining her as well. Like he keeps talking over when they're talking to the detective. Yeah, he keeps saying, "Oh, but you wouldn't believe that, would you, Scully?" And like just basically, I'll put something in there. Yeah. But yeah, the way he's talking is like he's purposely trying to wind her up in front of this woman. And he does that twice. He does the exact same joke twice. Yeah. Which is again, I'm just like, why are they bickering? I don't understand what's going on. Yeah. We're then introduced to Bob Spitz. Yeah. Who is the principal. Yeah. We find out later he's the principal of the school. But he interrupts the funeral and he's shouting and screaming.
basically saying we need to save our children, save them from the cult. He ends up getting on top of the stage where the coffin is, and we see the two girls just staring at him, and the coffin bursts into flames.
Yeah.
And everyone runs out apart from the two girls who are just staring.
And didn't flinch at all.
Yeah. Very strange.
Very suspicious.
Almost suspect behaviour.
Yeah.
But no one bats an eyelid.
No one cares. Apart from us. We'll just can I just quickly go back to what they were talking about earlier?
Yeah, of course.
When they're bickering as well, they Mulder says a line which I thought implied what had happened to cause this argument. He says, because they talk about doing an autopsy, and he says to Scully, "Oh, we know how much you like slapping on the latex." And I thought, oh,
isn't that later?
I thought it was at this point.
I think that's when they find the handbag and they're trying to get the evidence, and they both go to collect their gloves, don't they?
I don't remember. Yeah.
To get the bones from the handbag. But yeah, we can talk about it now.
Well, I can't remember when it was. I thought it was in this scene, but anyway. So yeah, he says to her, "Yeah, we know how much you like slapping on the latex." And I thought, oh, is this hinting at that Scully's been on some kind of date or something, or she's been romantically involved with someone? I thought, is there a hint to that? And maybe that's why he's jealous? That doesn't come to fruition either. No. It's just, as you said,
they're just falling out.
They've fallen out.
Which isn't a bad thing, per se, because, they don't have to be happy all the time. Like, they don't have to explain why they're not happy.
Yeah.
But it's just the whole episode just seems to be bickering constantly, like, between everybody.
And I mean, we spoke about this off air, about that. One, it seems like he's shaming her for no reason.
Yeah.
If that is the case. And you mentioned as well another point, is it some kind of like cosmic thing that we get later on?
Well, that was a theory I put forward to you, where the whole episode is about this sort of cosmic happening that causes the girls to be like this. But I don't think... They do mention that it's specifically these girls, because it's their birthday on that day. And they do mention that it can make people seem... relationships frayed, and it can make people seem erratic. But that doesn't... I don't give it that leeway, because they're both like it before and after midnight. Whereas the girls stop.
Yeah.
And after midnight, they're still bickering.
Yeah.
The principal's still raving. And before, when they were on the way there, they're still... You know what I mean? So I don't give it that credence.
I don't know. It just felt weird.
Exactly.
Weird.
I mean, even if that is this answer, I just didn't find it fun to watch.
The car.
So yeah, we see Mulder and Scully, and they're interviewing these two girls, Margie and Terry, in this separate rooms. And they both offer pretty much identical statements.
Yeah.
Both sort of playing up and crying and talking about like how it scared them, and they put this whole story of how this cult, they found this cult, and they assumed they wanted to kill blonde virgins, but then they actually brought out a baby, killed the baby instead, and then threw it into this mass grave. This whole story, and they both have the stories watertight. But Scully rightly says it's too rehearsed, it's too watertight, that there's got to be something there. The reason why they're giving such identical statements is because it's a story that they've made up. And she does also point out the fact that it's very cliche, and these sort of stories happen all over the world, and they're very rarely true.
Yeah.
They then go on to look at the autopsy for Mr. Boom. And
Mr. Boom.
They don't find anything particularly of interest, apart from... What was her name? I have to go back now. Angela. Apart from Angela, who thinks that there's a burn mark on his chest.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this, yeah.
That looks like... What she thinks is like a goat. Horns or beast.
Yeah. A horned beast. Which,
a very horned beast, which Mulder says, it does look like a horny beast.
God, it's quite good that this was 69, actually, now thinking about it.
So they're talking about this. Scully doesn't see it.
Yeah.
It looks like his team's emblem. That's about it, really. And I'm guessing it's just burnt into him from his jacket, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't think they would put the emblem on. I'm guessing that's it. But they do notice that that's on his chest, which leads them to sort of believe it might be more satanic cult.
Yeah.
Scully's been very dismissive of Angela and Mulder's theories. Mulder goes to see her to apologise for everything. And they both visit this local astrologist called Madame Zorinka, who claims the town's crazy, and it's because there's a rare planetary alignment of the planets Mars, Uranus, and Mercury. They ask, what's the problem? What does it do? And she says, well, the opening hours 9 till 5, and you've got to pay for that information. That's literally her job. So they don't get any information further than that.
Understandable. Before they did this as well, there was a line that comes into play a bit later on when Mulder actually goes around there. He asks Angela if she wants to help him with his case of a horny beast.
Oh yeah, he does, yeah.
Old schmoozy Mulder there.
Any opportunity.
Yeah. That's in 2 episodes now. He's been
But we can't blame him for Bambi.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Scully's angry about, Bambi still.
It could be. Yeah, maybe.
I always treat like Monster of the Weeks as self-contained stories, though. You know what I mean? I don't believe
that you should be able to just hop in and out without having to.
Yeah,
but I wonder if there was many people that watched it that way, just hopping in and out.
Maybe I couldn't do that. Like with a TV series, like
if you think of like Friends, like the majority of people consume Friends like that.
Maybe,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But not while if I jumped in on something as it was airing, I'd want to watch it a lot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If it's like now where it's just reruns of Friends or Simpsons or something like that, that's a long running TV show. I don't mind missing episodes, especially when I know there's no.
They don't relate to each other.
It's not like if somebody said, "Oh, Lost's on. Do you want to watch episode 10 of season 3 of Lost?" I'd be like, "Nah, I'll watch from the beginning or something." Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's weird. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But you could. You could.
I mean, there's no law against it.
No.
We jump now to Terry and Margie watching basketball practice. This is where I lost all faith in this episode. This scene, was just awful.
Yeah.
When I mentioned that I literally said, "What am I watching?" It was this scene.
Yeah. This bit also like made me question what was going on in the episode as well. Do the recap and then we could tear it apart afterwards.
So they're watching basketball practice and they're judging all the guys on the teams. One of them says, every time they see a guy they don't like, they say,
hate her, wouldn't want to date her.
And they find a guy that they like and they go, "Oh yeah, we like him. Yeah. And they see his girlfriend and they say, hate, would not date. And then a guy spills their drink over them. And they're like, oh, hate, would not date. Oh my God. It was just appalling. It was just so badly acted. And I don't know whether it was meant to be like that, but it just... You mentioned earlier that it felt like a bad episode of Buffy.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that.
Like, the first season of Buffy has these like kind of tropes of like really annoying high school stuff smashed together with a supernatural story. And there's some good episodes, but then there's some that are just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, and this is what it felt like. It felt like we just transported Mulder and Scully into a bad episode of Buffy.
It felt like a Disney show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you take the supernatural element away, the writing, it felt like a high school drama that you'd see on Disney, this channel. It's not what I'm here for. It really wasn't. I just didn't like it at all.
Also, these cheerleaders, the laziest cheerleaders in the world, they're all sat on the floor. They're playing, and then they're doing the cheers while sat down, and I'm like, what's going on here? Is this normal? I don't know. I thought you had to do a lot of jumping around as a cheerleader.
Not while the game's on. Oh, I don't know. We don't have cheerleaders over here, do we really? So
I mean, they do. There's some sports do have it over here, but I'd say not many.
We should get Most Unwanted cheerleaders.
It's a bit awkward with an audio-only podcast, though.
While we're just sitting here and to the side of us.
Oh, look, the cheerleaders are here. They're already... Whoa!
Let's go.
Calm down.
All right. Let's go.
You just kicked the mic over.
Yeah, we could just make up anything. There's a bear here now. Jeez. Go as weird as you like.
We're going down audio drama territory here.
What was that, Barney? That's all right. The bear's called Barney.
Like Barney the bear.
Barney the bear. That's all right.
Well, the girls do get the revenge. They, using the power of their mind, cause the basketball to go behind.
Oh, I forgot this bit. Yeah.
Yeah, to go underneath the. Is it called the bleachers?
The bleachers.
Yeah. So it goes underneath the bleachers, and when he goes to get it, the guy that just tipped the water over them, they turn all the power off and they close, crushing him to death.
Is there no safety feature? Because surely somebody in the world has thought, what if somebody's behind this when it closes? Surely there'd be a gap or something.
It happens in like most horror films, most like what you call them, slasher films.
Yeah. Have you ever watched The Faculty by any chance?
Yes.
I just always remember, whenever I think of bleachers, I always think of The Faculty.
I imagine there is definitely some safeguard.
There's gotta be like some kind of gap. And I mean, at the end of the day, they have to have a reason to kill this bloke, and bleachers it's a horrible way to go, so it makes sense, but I don't know. I was sort of like, nah.
Yeah. This whole scene. Just not for me. Not for me.
No. This is probably exactly the halfway point as well. So this is the point where you're like,
I just feel bad because like we always said right from the start that even if we don't like an episode, we're gonna be constructive about it.
Yeah.
And we have. I feel like there's been episodes where we've not enjoyed, and then and more often than not, when we start talking about them, we have a laugh with it, and we actually end up enjoying the episode more. Yeah. What was it? Ghost. Space, one of my favourite episodes. Because it was just, I remember how funny it was.
Yeah.
But, this one, I just thought it was bad.
I didn't think it was... Do you know what? It's not that it was bad. I thought that it was irritating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Spot on. Because a bad episode, you can sort of laugh at the bad parts of it. With this, though, the bad parts are just annoying.
I thought it was the writing as well. Yeah. I just thought the writing just seemed... Again... Even Mulder and Scully start talking like they're in a high school drama.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's not their characters. Anyway, we see him die, and we do go on to Scully having an argument with Mulder about ditching her for Angela.
Angela, yeah.
Because he left without her.
Sorry, I forgot the kid died then, and when you just said we see him die.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We just see a bloody mess afterwards.
Yeah.
So now we cut to like this town mob, and they've had a hint of a mass grave nearby. So the principal, what was the principal's name? Spitz?
Yeah.
Principal Spitz.
Bob, yeah.
He's got them all riled up. He's got this whole angry mob going towards to dig up this mass grave.
He says at one point that they've been playing naked movie star games. Now, what are those?
I missed that. When did he say that?
He says that they're making our children play naked movie star games.
Ooh.
I don't know what that means. Is that some kind of like...
Well, I mean, we play a similar game. Maybe it's that. Naked movie star games.
Do we?
It's where we get naked.
Oh, yeah.
And
we're doing it now?
We're doing it now. We talk about movie stars.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I was just such a weird line. I was like, what does he mean by that?
I completely missed that. I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, the latex line was in this part.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. Should have just waited. I jumped the gun there.
Well, anyway, yeah, they start digging up, and it's not long before they find bones. So they call everyone over. Everyone's again getting into a rage, and they find it in a bag. And they look into it. I knew straight away it was animal bones.
Yeah,
it wasn't a human bone. But Spitz takes a split second and screams to the whole crowd, "It's child bones! It's child bones!" Which obviously gets them all angry again.
And it's also in they find it's in a paediatrician's bag, which made me laugh because it's a mob turning up a paediatrician's. Didn't we talk about that story a while
We
back?
have, yes, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's quite...
So... Yeah, it was, as I say, it was his bag. They all go to this paediatrician and they're very angry. We do end up seeing that for some reason he's a cross-dresser.
Do we? I can't remember that.
Well, he's either a cross-dresser or he's just got a very feminine nightgown.
I can't even remember that.
I think he's got lipstick on.
He might have done. I just don't even remember that bit. I feel like I've expunged
Hey, don't get me wrong. whatever. Like that's fine. Yeah. Have a cross-dressing character. I just thought it'd play some part in the story, but apparently not.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just that strange episode keeps just getting stranger.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, it does. We find out that the bones belong to a Mr. Tippy, which is a dog that belonged to Terry. Because he mentions that he sold. Did he sell the dog off, or he just gave it to somebody?
I can't think.
It was like a car boot sale or something like that. But yeah, anyway, he ended up selling it off to Terry, who put her dog, Mr. Tippy, once it died in.
I'll be honest. My notes became a lot more sparse after the bleachers scene.
Yeah.
My brain just checked out a bit. Like I didn't. I don't know. We'll get to the summary at the end, but anyway, I'd stopped taking as much interest in it.
Yeah, definitely. Mulder starts joking around with Scully, and she gets quite upset.
Yeah.
This has gone on far enough.
What?
I am not going to be humiliated by you, in front of you, or by having to bring a teenage girl in on her birthday of all days to identify the bones of her dead dog, Mr. Tippy. I see no reason to pursue this case any further, and not only that, I find your conduct and comportment in this investigation not just alarming, but highly objectionable. What are you doing?
Must be Detective White.
If that's the reason we're sticking around, that's your business.
What? What are you talking about?
Detective White.
We came down here because of 3 unexplained deaths. Detective White is just trying to solve them. She could use our help.
Well, you two seem to have a certain simpatico. I'm going back to Washington in the morning.
Basically, they've just got to each other's end. Is what I'm trying to say.
Each other's tether.
That's the right phrase. That's what I'm trying to think of. So, and then we cut back to Margie and Terry celebrating their birthday. And Brenda, the girl that's dating the guy that they like. Why do I care about all this? Like, it's just so stupid.
That's the most sobering statement you said. Before we tear this apart, one thing I liked as we panned in. There's 2 things here. I liked the song that was on because it was on Rock Band.
Nice.
I remember liking the song.
What song is it?
It's sung by, I think they're called Live, called All Over You.
I don't remember it. I can't remember.
But it's on the newest Rock Band. But anyway, it was a good song. I enjoyed that. The party made me laugh because of how lame it was.
Yeah.
It was like this. It was the worst teenage birthday party. It's just music on, and everyone just sat around the table. It's like, what is this?
Well, they're actually playing with a Ouija board, and they get Brenda to use it, and she asks, "Who will she marry?"
Yeah.
And it goes to the S, and everyone thinks it's going to be Scott.
Yeah.
And it actually hovers over the C for the next letter. But then it veers away and spells out the word Satan.
Not your ideal choice, would it be?
Well, you can't,
I mean, if you're a Satanist, maybe.
Yeah. Do you know him? Don't judge him before you get to know him. So,
he is in a book. You can literally judge him. You don't have to judge him by his cover. You can judge him by his book.
Yeah. Just read the book.
Read the book. But he's a bit of a baddie in that, though.
He is a bit of a baddie. I've heard Satan's
famously
one of the baddies. Yeah. On a list of baddies, I'm going to be up there.
He's at the top. Yeah.
I think he's just before what's his Hans
Vader.
Darth Vader. Yeah.
Hans Gruber. He ain't that bad. Just want some money.
So yeah, she gets upset. She rushes to the bathroom, and she finds Margie and Terry in there chanting to they lit both the candles.
Yeah, they're doing the Bloody Mary thing as well, aren't they?
I've never heard of Bloody Mary.
Have you not?
No, I've heard it was basically Candyman, wasn't it? That's what
basically
it's the same thing. I've heard of Candyman, but I've never heard of Bloody Mary. I've got to be very careful because there's a mirror behind you. I've said his name twice. I'm going to be very, very careful now.
the sweet boy. Let's call him that.
Imagine the podcast gets cut short.
Oh shit!
So I can't say that word again.
Okay, fair enough.
They're chanting Bloody Mary. Apparently, if you say it 13 times, she comes to get you or something.
Take your eyes out or something.
Oh, does she?
I don't know. Some kind of urban legend.
Yeah, but the door locks, and all we know is there's a mirror shattering, a scream. All the kids turn the music off, and we find out later she was killed by flying glass.
Sorry, I got a really panicked feeling, and I was like, oh, what if Candyman is behind me?
Yeah, the sweet man.
I've only said it once on my life.
That's a good point, yeah. We then go back to the hotel room where Angela runs to Mulder's hotel room because she found a box which inside had her cat's collar in. And she thinks it's a threat or some sort of the satanic cult playing games with her. And Mulder's drinking. I don't know what he's drinking. He's just pouring its powder into vodka.
Yeah, I wonder what this was.
It was like custard.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Maybe this is like
some kind of like syrup or something like that. I don't know. I've seen vodka mixed with a lot of things. I've never seen someone scoop some kind of like syrup into vodka.
And I think this is the one indication as well that it is the planets aligning that's making them act weird, because Mulder does say in the scene, I don't drink.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm drinking vodka with custard now. But she comes in, she's very forward. She finishes off the vodka. She says that she's going to stay in his bed tonight. And then just jumps on top of him. And to Mulder's credit, he does try and... He doesn't fight her off. No. He does try and give other suggestions. And then, just goes with it.
A few takeaways from this scene as well. So we do see Scully in the other room.
Yeah.
One, she's smoking.
Yeah.
When has she ever smoked before? Another indication, probably.
Scully smoked.
Has she? Before?
Yeah.
When did she smoke?
I don't know exactly what episodes, but I've definitely seen her smoke, and we've actually seen a whole childhood episode about her stealing cigarettes from her mother's purse.
She did say that once, yeah.
So she definitely... I don't think she smokes a lot, but yeah, she does smoke. It's a very stressful situation.
It is. Also,
Brenda likes Mike, and Mike likes Angela. I don't know. Who cares? It's just, it's a lot of people liking people.
Also, the gif that you used a few weeks ago happened in this episode. Do you know the one where he shrugs and he's like got his tie untied?
Yeah.
That happened. I was like, it's the gif. Did you talk about the end of this scene as well?
No, I've just about getting to it when Scully walks in.
I'll wait till we get to the actual end.
Yeah.
This was another, what the fuck was that moment?
Well, basically, my notes say that Scully interrupts them, and she sort of just, again, rolls her eyes and she can't believe what's going on, and then they both leave because Scully informs them of Brenda.
So, as they walk out, it sort of cuts to black, and there's a sound effect right before it cuts to black, where it sort of goes, and it's not exactly this, and I might cut this out and pop it in, but it basically goes, wah, 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 and I was like, the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's because they have that running theme with the TV show.
Yeah, and
where every channel's the same TV show, and I don't really get.
I just thought, what was that Looney Tunes music?
Yeah,
and it was just so goofy. I don't know, like it just didn't sit well with me.
Disney.
Well, it was so
daffy.
Daffy, yeah, daffy. Yeah. So daffy that was.
It was so daffy.
Yeah. What have we resorted to?
Terry and Margie are trying to look after Scott.
Danzig in the background.
Yeah.
Some more cool music. One saving grace of this episode.
Cool
I like
music.
Both the songs.
That's good. That's good. He has a go at them. Basically, they say that they're going to look after him and they're going to console him by basically being his new girlfriend.
Yeah.
But he's not having any of it. And then Terry gets really mad. But Margie still likes him, and so she follows him and carries on trying to sort of get with him, I suppose.
Yeah, they do this. We find out by her doing the hate you thing and her friend not joining in.
Yeah.
So that's how we know.
Great. If I never hear would not date again, I'd be too soon. Mulder goes to visit the astrologist.
Zrinkas.
Yeah, Zrinkas. I'm assuming he's paid this time. And then
there's this funny. To be fair, this is quite a funny scene where she's checking his credit card, and he's like, "I'm FBI."
Oh yes, of course, yeah. FBI. It's like we don't know.
Yeah, this sounds like it would have been a topical joke at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So she tells him that the planets come into alignment like this once every 84 years, and additional alignments will cause anyone born on January the 12th, 1979, which coincidentally is Margie and Terry's birth date, to have all the energy in the cosmos focused on them. which you'd assume there would be thousands of people around the country all having these satanic powers.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So, maybe, I don't know.
This is not a good reason, maybe?
Just putting it out there.
I just put cosmic reasons for being an arse.
Yeah.
Question mark. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the plot.
The cosmic thing, yeah. God, I just feel... I can hear myself and I sound so negative and I don't like it. I don't like being like this.
I worry that because I hear that like X-Files has like a dip when it gets past a certain point, and a lot of episodes are not as good as they are at this like high point, I guess.
Yeah.
And I worry that it's going to be more episodes like this
later on, but yeah. Because I have heard the end of this season is really good.
Yeah. Well, I hear this is the best series.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Well, it has been so far, I would say.
I think Kathy told us as much, that it was the best...
Some of the best episodes, yeah.
And yeah, like I said, there's been none that I've really hated.
No, this has been the low point of the series, I'd say. So we'll just get through this real quick. Margie goes to see Scott, but Terry arrives and she's very angry. And they start arguing with each other, and they end up accidentally killing Scott. Like, I think it's like this spring from the garage door that ends up impaling him.
Yeah. We get the X-Files Satanist music kicking as well.
Yes, exactly.
It threw me off because I was like, okay, what is this, a Satan episode, or is it cosmic, or what is this? I don't know. I
don't think they know, to be honest.
Yeah.
They end up both blaming each other. So one runs off to Mulder, the other runs off to Scully. One calls Mulder, the other runs off to Scully. They both tell the exact same story about the other girl doing it. And then Mulder and Scully phone each other up and have like this weird competition about who's right and who's got the ace in the hole. So yeah, they bring both girls to the police station, and the police start. Well, basically, as soon as they see each other, all the guns start firing.
We get Saber's dance in the background, the music playing, the Keystone Cops.
Like, the guns on their belt start going off first.
Yeah.
And, like, no one gets hurt, no one gets shot, despite these bullets ricocheting everywhere. And they literally dive on the floor like Looney Tunes. Like, bums in the air. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looked comical. But then the girls are both just staring at each other while all these guns start firing.
I just wrote, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, what's going on?
So weird. Just so weird.
But yeah, Mulder manages to pull one of them away, separates them both, and then he ends up locking them both in a room together, and the mob comes outside, and it's all a bit tense, no one knows what to do, and then 12 o'clock hits, and they finally open the door, and the two girls are crying.
Yeah.
In the corner. Now, first of all, I wouldn't believe them because they've cried every time they've spoke to police.
Yeah.
And give false stories, so why are they so eager to believe them now? But
we do get this big speech from Mulder as well, this intense sort of speech to end what I thought was going to be the ending speech. Do you remember that bit?
Which bit was this?
Right. As they open the door, we get this big like internal monologue from Mulder.
Yeah.
It's ended very Twilight Zone-y, you know what I mean? Like the end of a Twilight Zone episode. I thought, that's quite a nice way to end off, isn't it?
It didn't end. Yeah, I mean, just one thing I wanted to note before that was Spitz is still out for blood at this point when they open the door, and then he sees them, and he immediately sort of starts to calm down, and he deduces that it was the work of Satan.
Well, that's the thing. That follows up that speech, I think. Like the speech happens, and then
yeah,
and that's the thing. It just felt like, okay, it's for a gag.
Yeah. And then Mulder and Scully drive home, and they're arguing over directions again. And Scully runs a stop sign. Mulder says, "You ran a stop sign," and Scully tells him, "Shut up." The end. What did you think of the episode, Luke?
I thought it was a really weird episode.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, it felt more like a bad episode of Buffy. And they just had some strange attempts at trying to be funny.
Do you think it was trying to be funny? I don't think it was trying to be funny. I feel like it was
trying to be funny.
Okay.
I honestly do think it was trying to be funny because of how it was written, especially for Mulder and Scully. I just didn't think it landed.
I think they just got the voices wrong, you know. I just feel... Chris Carter's writing it, so I don't know how it happened. And maybe it is because this cosmic energy has changed the way they are and their personalities. But
that feels like and it was because of magic kind of excuse, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it was a dream all along. It's a cop-out.
It's too vague.
And we don't see any other consequences to that, why should we care when they're just basically turn into 15-year-olds?
Yeah. So ultimately, I didn't despise the episode, but I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
It was sort of, if you had to give it like a number grade, it was sort of a 4 or a 3. You know what I mean? Like, it was not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it was also far from just okay.
I'd agree.
It was irritating.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on, sorry.
I'd agree. I think I've made my feelings clear. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't for me, and I'm sure there's an audience out there that enjoy it. And that's fine. It's just, for me, I didn't think that they had Mulder and Scully right. It wasn't Mulder and Scully to me. They weren't acting the way Mulder and Scully would act in those situations. And I just thought it was bad acting, bad writing. Just wasn't for me. Especially with some of the stellar episodes we've had this season.
Yeah.
It was a disappointment for me.
Luke's production note.
Rob Bowman was not a fan of the episode, saying, "The show proved to be much more difficult than I anticipated, and there wasn't enough time to shoot the show properly because we were so close to the Christmas break. I felt extremely pressured and frustrated, although there are things in it that I love, particularly the banter between Mulder and Scully. But overall, I thought the show was very oblique. I didn't feel that the characters even knew what was going on, and I didn't think it was all that cool that kids are murdering people. I didn't feel like I was shooting an episode of The X-Files, and I think I let Chris Carter down a bit."
Interesting.
So it's not just us that didn't like this episode.
No, fair enough.
I'd be interested to hear what other people think of this episode. This is one where I would like feedback on, because I want to know what, especially diehard X-Files fans think of this.
Yeah,
in particular.
Definitely.
Please send feedback. The name of the episode, Syzygy, refers to a straight-line astrological alignment of 3 or more celestial bodies in a gravitational system.
We all know that, Luke. Why put it in there? We've spoke about it this episode.
I wrote it down, so it's going in. The name of Grover... Another dig this one is. The name of Grover Cleveland Alexander High School, the setting for much of the episode, the action in the episode, refers to a Jeopardy question that series co-star David Duchovny got wrong when he appeared on the show.
Oh, wow.
Two in a row now. They've proper dug into him for getting these questions wrong.
I don't get Jeopardy. And it's because we don't have it in the UK.
The format is basically they just describe something and you have to name what it is, don't you? That's basically what the format is.
No, isn't Jeopardy where they give an answer and you've got to give the question? Am I thinking of the wrong show?
Isn't it basically they'll say this hero has a red cape and blue underwear and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Anybody? Oh, Superman.
No,
I'm sure that's the format of it.
Should we have a look before we make ourselves sound stupid?
Let's find.
We've already made ourselves.
Let's find a sample Jeopardy question.
Yeah. I think you've got to give your answer in the form of a question.
1 day total. 11,914. What is brain trust? That's it.
Yeah,
yeah.
So we're back.
Yeah.
We've just had a quick look. So yeah, it seems, again, I don't know the rules because I don't really get it myself, but I feel like what it is the question that you get given is something along the lines of like you said, Superman, wears a red cape or something like that.
Yeah.
And
this hero wears it'd be like, this hero wears a red cape and protects Metropolis, and it'd be like, who is Superman? Or
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't get it, and it's so ingrained in pop culture in America that Friends has jokes about it. I know SNL do skits about Jeopardy and stuff like that. I just goes over my head. I just don't get it.
Because we're petty. What's a UK TV show or game show that we could confuse Americans with?
I don't know. Because
The Chase, maybe? Do they have The Chase?
no, I think they do.
I know they have Deal or No Deal.
Has pretty much all.
Their
of
Deal or No Deal is so much fancier than ours. They have like, isn't it like people opening like briefcases and stuff? It's like,
To be quite frank, Luke,
Yeah.
Deal or No Deal is not Deal or No Deal without Noel.
Deal or Noel's Deal.
Exactly.
Now that's a confusing English reference.
We'll leave that there.
Yeah. Oh, it's me, isn't it?
It is you.
The scene where Mulder sees a Keystone Cops movie on every television channel was originally meant to include the movie A Clockwork Orange, but the rights to the footage were too expensive, so the producers settled on another choice. Carter felt, in retrospect, it ended up being a better fit.
I don't get the relevance of it, if I'm honest.
No. I guess it would have had Beethoven instead of Saber's Dance.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have changed.
No, I don't.
the show at all.
I'm not really too sure, to be honest.
Mulder and Scully's fight about Mulder always driving was based on a common nitpick from fans, many of whom noticed that Mulder was usually the one driving the car. According to the series co-star, Gillian Anderson, I wouldn't say co-star. That's weird that they call it, that it says series co-star. She's just as much a star as...
I think Duchovny and Anderson are both co-stars.
Did you both say co-stars? No, it's weird. I always thought co-star was somebody who was alongside the star.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll call them both stars.
They're both stars in our eyes.
Yeah.
Do they have stars in their eyes?
Yes, they definitely
I think we've done this.
We've done it to death.
Yeah. It's like stars in your eyes. But anyway, yeah. According to the series co-star, Gillian Anderson, this was a nitpick that fans on the internet had made since the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. He made a weird comment about his small feet.
That was the next thing was Mulder's joke about Scully's little feet was a joke that Carter had made before at a fan convention in Pasadena, California.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. What strikes me as weird is there's internet fans of this show. They must have had to be like real hardcore like internet users to have the internet
back at the time.
Yeah, because this was 96. You know what I mean? Like AOL would have been quite early in its lifetime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know what the state of the internet would have been.
We spoke about this before, about when we got the internet and stuff like that. But yeah, like I know America tended to have the internet before us, but like the internet as we know it now, is before us, but still, it would have been
strange,
quite early. Anyway, especially when it's at the beginning of the show. Was it 94, 93? I don't know. Anyway, regarding the tone of the episode, Duchovny later explained that the show's comedic episodes were generally more ludicrous than others, saying there's the X-Files of the standalone, and then there's the X-Files of the mythology, and then the comedic X-Files as well, in which the characters are really not quite the characters that we know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I see that.
I could see that, yeah.
And we've definitely seen that in Darren Morgan episodes where we're quite happy to see a sort of a warped version of Mulder and Scully, so I suppose you've got to give them credit for that.
Yeah. And that's the end of production notes this week.
Oh, nice. Well,
We got any feedback?
we also have a bit of feedback.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dan's Twitter Corner.
We've literally in the last hour or so, Kathy just got in touch saying that she listened to the last episode and she loves our appreciation of Darren Morgan. We also had Meredith get in touch and she put, "Hey, hashtag Luke's right. The first film needs to be watched between seasons 5 and 6. And hey, hashtag Luke's right again. One film is mythology and one is not. Well done, Luke." You had to be. I did tweet her back and say, statistically, you had to be right at some point, just accidentally.
What a dick! Jesus, can't even let me have my moment.
But good job, you did your research, and people appreciate the effort that you've gone through. I did also want to mention one more tweet that Ray sent in, which I found quite interesting, which was she put the caption from Mulder from, I think it was a few episodes back, it might have been the last one, but it was him saying, "I wait for a miracle every day, but I've seen as testing my patience, not my faith." And she commented on this, saying that this comment made me wonder if all the trauma of his childhood and what he's witnessed so far about paranormal led to his disbelief in the presence of God. It seems like he used to believe, but he was disillusioned. I just thought that was a really interesting talking point. And I would agree with it. Yeah, I think I would agree with it. I think it probably has set him on that path of, for lack of a better term, science fiction, rather than looking into religion for answers. What do you think?
I guess, yeah. I mean, he's got a lot more cause to believe if he's encountered an actual abduction and he's convinced in that, then why would you believe in a faith when you know that there's some other kind of like creature out there? And
you could also argue he's still got faith, it's just a different kind.
Then again, he did go to a church at the one point. Do you remember the episode where he breaks down at the end and he's crying? He's in a church when that happens, so
I feel like that was just more symbolic.
Yeah, maybe.
More just somewhere to go to reflect rather than to...
He's a secret believer.
Maybe. You never know, I suppose. We'll find out. But I did think that was an interesting point. So thank you for getting in touch. If you want to get in touch with the show, tweet us or get in touch with us on Instagram or Facebook.
Throw a paper aeroplane with your...
Yeah, or you could do that, and we'll receive it. It might take a little while, but we will receive it
eventually.
Just get in touch, or you can email us as well at mostwantedpodcast@gmail.com. But apart from that, I think that's everything done for this week.
It is, yeah.
So, have you got the title of the next week's episode for us?
I do. It's called Grotesque.
So we look forward to that one. I will see you all then.
Not me. I've quit.